So today I want to answer a question that I have, that I keep thinking about. So I decided I'll do the research, I'll get it answered in front of you, and then I'll make the decision for myself. But before we dive in, someone might ask, you didn't compare enough. So I'm looking today at ChatGPT-4, Copilot by Microsoft, and Llama 370B. Now I cannot test everything. I want to make it light and simple for you, but I have some kind of a model representing something. So for example, ChatGPT, I think you cannot miss, you cannot not have in such a comparison. It is the benchmark. And then Microsoft's Copilot have something unique that no one else has, which is an AI built on a huge and amazing ecosystem unmatched. And finally, you have Meta's Llama 3, which is an open source AI. You have more control over it, and you can maybe do, if that's your thing, much more stuff with it. And with this, let's jump right in. Let's give them a code problem to solve. Okay, so I copied the first prompt. Let's go to Llama first. So I did this through Gork. Let's start with Gork. I'll give it paste here with the whole prompt. I'll hit enter, and it's working already. So let's go to Copilot, give it paste, hit enter, and then ChatGPT. I have GPT-4 here with the prompt. I'll hit enter. Okay, so all of them started working fast. This is the slowest. So again, because this is based on ChatGPT-4, I think the slowest. I think the Llama spit it out really quickly. So it's giving me the code here. So this is the solution. So let's start by testing Llama for the solution. So I'll just copy this. I'll go to my Replit session, Command V, and I will run. So Llama solved it, and now it is working for the Llama one. So good for you, Llama, but it was the fastest. Clearly, it was the fastest. Okay, so let's go to Copilot. So this is Copilot solution. I'll just copy it, go back here to the code, replace it. This is Copilot's code. I'll run it. And again, it was solved. Let's go last but not least to ChatGPT. I'll take it from ChatGPT, paste, and I'll run it. So all of them solved the problem. All of them were able to debug that code. The original one that I had, if I run it, it had like many errors showing up. Good. But I think if there's one thing to note here is the speed. So Llama solved it really, really fast. And I think it was captured while recording this, so you can see it. But for Copilot and ChatGPT, the ChatGPT-4 model is a slow one. So it took a time until it put in the code, and then it gave some context around the solution. For Llama, it just did the whole thing. Like, I remember it in less than a second. So it was super fast. So good for you, Llama. So the second one is to ask it to give us a small application. So again, I'm going to copy this prompt. I will go back to Grok, and here in Grok, I'll copy the new prompt, which is basically, just to give you an idea, that I'm asking all of them to build a mini app in Python to run in Replit that helps users track their daily water consumptions, guide me through setting up the project, writing the code for basic CRUD kind of operation, okay, creating a basic visualization of the data. So I think this will be also super fast. So let's see how fast this is. So this is Llama. I don't know if it being fast is due to Grok or Llama itself. Think maybe both. So let's hit, yep, see the speed. I think this beats ChatGPT 3.5. I'm not sure. So let's go to Copilot, paste here, see the difference now in the response. You can see the difference in speed already in Copilot. ChatGPT, it's all in the same session. So you can see here ChatGPT is working and it's slow, but it's giving the steps in a very detailed manner. So let me go, just while it's working on it, let me go to see in Llama if it gave like the steps as you would want them around setting up things in Replit. So yeah, it's giving you the steps. So it's good quality things, and it was done fast. Okay, so what I've done is I took all the parts as Llama told me, and I added the files. You can see them here, maybe behind my picture. But if you know Replit, there will be the files here like any environment. So I had database.py, main.py, models.py, and visualization.py. All of it is on Python as I asked for. Till now, I have no issues yet. And it's loading next environment. It had to install so many things. So all of these dependencies, something is happening, something good. So I built everything as per the instructions by Llama. And I kept getting indentation errors and solving them, then getting other errors within the code. So it gave me a complex one, I would assume, looking at it, something with visualization and database and everything, which is good, but it's not working. I tried to run it. I tried to debug it with simple debugging. I don't want to spend hours doing this, but just gives me an input. Okay, it did it quickly, but not 100%. So you need to put an effort if you build a program through Llama to make it work better, to debug it. And if you're like me, someone who develops most of the time and you're not a developer, so it might be a gray area for you. So I would always like to depend on a system that at least can get the indentation right. So, okay, let's move to the other one, which is Copilot. So this is what I got from Copilot. Looks too simple. Let's see what we get. Now I'm assuming it's all in one window. I was reading in it. They didn't specify to create new files. So it's loading the next environment. Okay, I got that in Llama, but eventually I got a bunch of errors. So I've completed the run for Copilot and ChatGPT, and they didn't do as well. So Copilot gave me something very simple and it has no errors. It runs, but they missed out to show or put any feature to deploy a local host or something for me to view the app. So again, the prompt was light, but also it tells you how these models do things. Now, when it comes to OpenAI, it gave me a pretty detailed steps and sections to add to my code. But again, it had issues. When I ran it, the test, it had issues. I don't want to spend time debugging such a tool or such a code that I'm just doing for testing. It didn't get it out of the gate. This is how I will judge this. Now, I've worked a lot with code and ChatGPT. If I give it now the error or the issue I have, there's a big odd that is going to solve it even from the first or second go. I've worked with ChatGPT a lot with code, but across all of them, none of them as of today can give you something out of the box based on a prompt that is working. So something will be missed or a library is missed. I followed their instructions to the T. Sometimes, yes, if you miss the steps, the AI will tell you that's on you. That's not on the AI. Okay, so let's move on for the next test. So what next I wanted to do as a test was very unique for Copilot and ChatGPT. And honestly, I got shocked because today I just subscribed for Copilot to do the testing and it doesn't take PDFs. I think you need to do that through an ecosystem. So you connect it through the 365 and then you can interact with Copilot through the document itself. Now you need to understand, either you take Copilot for Business, which is $30 a month that you have to pay in advance for a year without a trial. So I didn't go there. And that's, I think, the version that's so into 365 as Microsoft ecosystem. You can find it. It can build you slides. It can do emails for you, attend even events on your behalf. So that's like the super strong Copilot. This is the one I've set with my Hotmail account because this is $20 and it matches the cost of my ChatGPT account or the OpenAI account I have. And I can have a trial because honestly, I'm not gonna continue using it unless I am pretty sure that I want to carry on with such a subscription. So I decided to go with this one. This one doesn't take a PDF. Already disappointing. Nice interface, yes, but people want to use documents. People want to throw documents and ask questions. So let's do it for the OG of doing this kind of work. So I'll just connect the document here. And just to show you, this is the document I will send the prompt based on. So it's the future of renewable energy. It's coming from the World Government Summit that happened recently in Dubai. It's collaboration with some Harvard studies as well and other big institutes. It's not a big one, but there's lots of details here. I didn't even read it, but let's see how ChatGPT does that. So already you can see it's attached here, and let me paste the prompt. So I've put in the prompt and basically it says I'm working on a collaborative document titled The Future of Renewable Energy in PDF. Help me edit this document in real time for clarity and conciseness. Then generate a summary highlighting the main arguments. So basically, as if I'm doing an edit for this, I want to review it. I want it to help me do it. And this is a PDF, remember? So it will need to go through it, give me the text for that. And let's see just how it responds in general. And this is one of the really strongholds of ChatGPT on how it deals with attachments and Excel sheets and PDFs. Now, just recently they announced the memory. So whatever you do on one session, you can refer to or ask about in another session. So it built that memory capability, ChatGPT, which is a great thing. I would still containerize my kind of requests to ChatGPT in different windows. And you can always keep this clean here by archiving and deleting what you don't need anymore. Anyways, that's just a tip on the side. So, okay. So identify key points, edit for clarity and conciseness, just giving me the points here, and then maintain a logical flow, okay, and the final review. So it told me the steps that I need to go through to achieve my outcome, my desired outcome, and then it gave me the summary. Basically, just if you can, like just looking at that, and you can see it on the screen, it definitely did go through the document. It definitely did analyze it, it's even citing percentages out of that. So as usual, when it comes to ChatGPT and dealing with documents, it's a super tool. So one last prompt we'll test with the 3 of them that also will challenge their capabilities based on little information, and it's something that's more on the large language model type of thing without any vectors or embeddings or anything. Okay, so this is the last test, the last prompt. So let me read it. This is on Grok for Llama. Develop made-up information for a student's performance report in Excel. Put the report for the 10th grade John Doe in a table, and then based on the table create a detailed and personalized learning plan focusing on improving their math skills while leveraging their skills in science and literature. So you see, I'm asking for it in Excel. I want to see how it handles such a request. And there are GPTs that might do this in ChatGPT, but it will not spit out an Excel if you ask it for an Excel in that way. So I just want to send it and see how they respond. So I'm asking for a hypothetical fake, basically a report for a student. And then based on that hypothetical fake report that you gave me, tell me how we can help that student improve their basically education in certain areas like science and literature. So let's start with Llama, which is super fast. And again, super fast. Like this is, please put me a comment in the comment section if you know this. Is it Grok or Llama or both? Because it was super fast. So it gave me a report for a John Doe 10th grader, and it's analyzing for me the strength and weakness of that student with some metrics and insights into that, and then putting goals, short-term, long-term, and an action plan. So all in all, super fast, super good. So this is what I was expecting, and great job done by Llama on this one. Let's move to Copilot, and we'll send it here. As usual, Copilot ChatGPT-4 will take time. So Copilot is giving, it's simplifying, it's taking its easy time and its easy life, you know, so it's giving too simple. If you compare it, like if you look what Llama gave us already, so let's go to Llama quickly. It's a more complex kind of thing, not too complex, but still it gave us 4 quarters at least, and then a final. So basically it's more complex, I would say, Llama, from what I'm seeing through Copilot. I don't know if it's Copilot issue or ChatGPT issue. I doubt it's ChatGPT issue. So Copilot just gave high-level grade, didn't complicate it. Maybe that's a good thing for you, maybe that's a bad thing for you, I don't know. And then it gave very high level a plan, and then the strength into the areas that we want or we asked for. Okay, I don't know, like these things, I know they're hard to judge. Maybe if you're a teacher, you can give me a better way to judge them and judge for yourself. So everyone has their need, but okay. This is, I'll keep my judgment for myself for now. At the end, I will reveal my outlook of the whole thing. So now let's go to ChatGPT with the same prompt and let's see the response. So you can see it built more complex table. So it didn't look at like Llama at quarters. It actually had a teacher, like hypothetical teacher comment and recommendation. And in certain areas, it had like, there's no recommendation for those areas. It focused on the areas where we asked to improve. So it had the recommendations there. And then it did a personalized learning plan specifically for math. It's very detailed. And you can see it looked into the integrated science and math learning, develop problem solving and literature, focus on practice in weak areas, and so forth. So this is for the math part. And also didn't do anything on science or literature because we told it it's a strength for that student, hypothetical student, but we wanted it to leverage that into the math. So you can see it hinted into that in the different areas, how to leverage such a strength into math. But yeah, overall, very detailed, but slower. Like compared to what Llama gave us, it was detailed. It had some of these elements already there, but it's much slower. So with this, I finish my testing. Now, my needs are different from yours, so do not take my judgment as something you will follow. You'd have to do this for yourself, or maybe watch other videos around the same areas, the same comparisons, and then, okay, decide this is the way forward for me. So I depend a lot on many things in content creation, content distribution, all of these good things on tools, all of them. And actually the core of it is always dependable on AI and on tools. Those tools, one of them is Zapier. And if you watch this channel, you'll know I'm a big fan of Zapier. And Zapier is really integrated well with OpenAI and ChatGPT, and fits my need a lot because many things I do for my YouTube, my personal work and other things and content is automated through Zapier and ChatGPT. Now, on the flip side, I always keep questioning, but is it the right one for me? Like, you look at Llama, super fast, and I'm paying $20 a month with ChatGPT on top of the API kind of work I do. So every API call will cost you money. So on top of the API cost that I have. So if you use the API, the OpenAI API, that comes with an extra cost on top of the $20. So I would say it's like $20 of API calls, $20 of subscription, and that's like $20 of API calls on a really busy month. So that's $40. What if I do it on Azure and Llama? I don't even host it on my own compute. So I've covered a quick video that I link also in the end screens, where I test Llama purely quickly when they announced it. But basically you can do it on Azure, where you host it there through the AI Studio in Azure, and then use the endpoints, have everything with it through API calls. And there's a playground for Azure where you can interact with it, very similar to Grok here. Also, if you want something, a super like specific application you want to deploy, then you can rent your own kind of virtual machine on Azure. That's a totally different thing when it comes to cost. But the headache and the complexity of doing all of that, is it really what I need? So on Zapier, I do many things, and on daily basis, I use ChatGPT through its online interface. So that's my need. But what about Copilot? So Copilot is based on ChatGPT-4, but looking at it, it doesn't have all the features ChatGPT-4 has. It's a complete $20, like it's not like $10. Potentially, if I put the $30, so I'm paying more than ChatGPT, I can go and enjoy the Microsoft ecosystem powered by ChatGPT and have the Copilot everywhere. That's a good one to have for $10 more. But looking at all of these things, my personal judgment of these three models. Number one, I will start with Llama. Super fast. If you want speed, that's the one. It will be more challenging for you to set it up, to interact with it, unless you want just to do it through something like Grok, or you want to do it through Azure and without computing maybe, or with computing if you have the money and you have the idea for it, to do some R&D and something within your own environment. You don't want it something public. And then with the endpoints, you can build, by the way, automations through HTTP requests on Power Automate or Zapier, any automation tool, or even Postman, but depends what you want to build. It has complexity, it has speed, and then you have to judge the quality of its output based on your needs. So that's one way to look at Llama. So that's something really convenient. Copilot, it fell off for me when I experienced the PDF issue. It doesn't, I was shocked, honestly, when I was doing this video. I assumed it will take the PDF. It didn't take the PDF, maybe through the ecosystem, as I mentioned, but that's not convenient for me. I want to do it straight from the chat. And the answers, the way I worked with it, were too simple. ChatGPT can give me complex answers. This is something from everything I go through in my day, in my work, from building up scripts, ideas. I want that kind of complexity, the extra edge that ChatGPT I see when dealing with it directly, compared to Copilot. I didn't compare the GPTs, honestly, and this is intentional, because there's by no means there's a comparison of the GPT store that you have on OpenAI and Copilot. Copilot has basically nothing. You can build your own GPT, you can do things, but nothing compares to the GPT store on ChatGPT, which is a huge store today. So today I'm working on a new tool. First thing I do, I go to the GPT store, I pick up that GPT if it's available and start working with it. It's becoming something super, and it definitely beats Copilot there. And I don't think Copilot, they intend to compete with ChatGPT on that end. It is meant, Copilot is meant for businesses. in the future, a company where I work for, they might invest and buy me the $30 Copilot, and I can become much more productive in doing my job every day. So for me, considering everything I've said so far, I will have to stick with my ChatGPT membership and API cost. I need the convenience, I need the easy automation with tools like Zapier, I need the complexity, I need the GPT store, I need the familiarity with the tool because I'm so familiar with it. And in most areas, in my opinion, it came on top, excluding speed, which is, for me, it's not a big deal. Someone building a chatbot for a business that is not so complex, but they want really fast responses. Probably they will say, I cannot work with ChatGPT-4, even if it's the best. I want to work with Llama. It's fast, it's witty, I can put it on Azure, and I can start pushing things. Based on your need, you can decide for yourself. So what am I going to do? I will cancel my Copilot membership after I stop recording. I'm gonna close my Llama window, but keep a really strong watch for Llama. I do that, and also for the other AI open source models like Claude and others. But finally, I will stick to my baby ChatGPT-4 from OpenAI. So thank you, Sam Altman. We appreciate what you're doing there. And with this, I hope I helped you get some questions answered and maybe help you take steps to make your own decisions. And you've seen some value from all the talk that I did here. And with this, I'll leave 2 videos related. One on the first video I did with Llama 70B on Azure. And the other one, I let the algorithm select something that you like from my library. So you'll watch that. So click this button or this button if you want to watch more. And with this, thank you and goodbye.